mind unwind. David Miller, Mike Killer, stories intertwined. Combo so slick, you'll swear it's a movie. Insightful, delightful, laid back and groovy. Miller time, get ready to roll. David's got the knowledge, gonna stir your soul. Press play, no delay, let's ride this wave. Miller time, prime time, wisdom, heal, and crave.
Hey, don't call it a comeback. I've already been here, and I'm back for another episode. MillerTime, new location. Notice the prison walls behind me. I've been downgraded to the bunker down here in the basement. Hey, Christmas is about to happen, so where I was located, there's supposed to be a Christmas tree. So guess who got the boot? It wasn't the tree. It was this guy right here. So now, coming to you live from the basement of the Miller compound, and we are back for another episode. As we are recording this, this is the end of November of 2025, and a lot is going on in the sports world, in the real world, all those things. So let's talk about it a little bit. So if you're watching this past weekend, this is right before Thanksgiving, your beloved Atlanta Falcons, hey, they got a win against the Saints. It's always good to beat the Saints. But we did it without Michael Penix. We're going to have to play the rest of the season without him. We did it without Drake London. So, hey, anytime you get a win without two of your best superstars on offense, it's a good thing. But I want everyone to start pumping the brakes. Saw something on social media the other day. It said, hey, what if Kirk Cousins goes 7-0 now that Michael Penix is out? What's going to happen for next year? Slow your roll. That's not going to happen. Not going to 7-0. Let's calm down and let's put this into a little bit of perspective, if we could, please. You beat the Saints. That's not saying much. Like everybody's beating the Saints. So you beating the Saints, I don't care if it is with Kirk Cousins. I don't care if it is without Drake London and Michael Penix. You still, at the end of the day, you beat the Saints. So let's just calm down a little bit. Hey, you got the Jets coming up. Everyone is beating the Jets too. So I don't want them to be, oh my gosh, beat the Saints, beat the Jets. We're back. No. You're at the point of your schedule where you're playing the worst teams in the NFL. You're just slightly better than those teams. You're not much better. You're just slightly better than those teams. So don't get your hopes up. You're not going to rattle off 7 wins, even though the NFC South is absolutely horrendous right now. You look at the standings. I want to say Tampa Bay is either 6-4 or 6-5. They're garbage. The Panthers are sitting at 6-5 or 6-4, 5-4, whatever it is. They're garbage, but you let that garbage team beat you twice, and that is sad that has happened. You have one win in the division, and it's against these Saints, which are awful. So let's just slow down. You're not going to do anything this year. The only thing that you're actually doing, if I'm being completely honest with you, is messing up your draft pick. However, because you're a dysfunctional organization, you don't even have the first-round draft pick. You gave that to the Rams so you can move back into the first round last year and get James Pierce Jr., who is a good player, don't get me wrong. Love having him on the defense. But you don't have a first-round pick this year at all. You're in trouble. This franchise is absolute garbage. I don't know why I still follow them. My wife tells me all the time, David, why are you following this franchise? I don't know. It's a sickness. It is an absolute sickness and a disease that I feel like I have to watch these guys every single Sunday. But I do. I'm just thankful that has not been passed down to my kids, and they could care less about the Falcons, thankfully. But you're in a disarray. This whole organization is in disarray. Only thing you're doing right now is actually giving the Rams a worse draft pick. They want you to keep losing. And I saw something today like, hey, you play the Rams later in the year, and because they're really, really good, they're sitting at 8-2 right now, maybe 9-2, 8-2. They may not even be playing for anything when you do play them. However, if you're the Rams, you actually want, I don't care if you already have your division, if you got the playoffs, you want to actually beat the Falcons. You want them to have a worse record because remember, you're getting their first round draft pick. So you want them to be as low as possible. You want them to have as many losses as possible. And you can probably honestly do that with your backup quarterback or put in Stetson Bennett. People around here would love to see Stetson Bennett. So put in Stetson. Doesn't matter. You're going to beat the Falcons. We're terrible. And the only thing you're doing now is messing with their draft pick, the Rams, for the 2026 season. My only hope is that half these guys that are on the sideline right now, that's coaching staff, that's GM, that's people in the front office, you hope that they're going to be gone. But we know the Falcons, if we know anything about this organization, they're not going to make any changes anytime soon. It's going to be status quo over and over and over again. And another year when you had a chance to win the worst division in all of the National Football League, you let teams like Carolina in that spot. It's absolutely sad where we are right now. Absolutely pathetic where this organization is with the amount of draft picks and the amount of talent that they have on the field. It's just, it blows my mind that we're to that point. And it's sad. And it's sad that I'm a Falcons fan. And so I have no one to blame but myself. I need to just let them go. You know, they say when you love someone, one of the best things you can do is let them go. And maybe I need to let them go because my gosh, how they have disappointed me time and time again. So that's the Falcons. On a positive note, if you're a Georgia fan, hey, we're getting close to the end of the season. You're getting ready and geared up for good old-fashioned hate against Georgia Tech on Black Friday. A little different this year. Also going to be in the Mercedes-Benz Dome. Maybe we'll actually see good football in that stadium because we don't see it on Sundays with the Falcons. So hopefully between those two teams, that'll be a good game. Haynes King and what the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are doing still has a chance to win the ACC, actually. But if anything, they're looking for revenge. They should have beat Georgia last year. You're talking 8 overtimes. Georgia was down 17-0 at the half against that Georgia Tech team. You stole one last year. You absolutely stole one last year, and Georgia Tech is looking to get one back. And if you're a Georgia fan, you're hoping, hey, you can maybe finish the season 11-1. May not even make it into the SEC championship game, but that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing. In this world of college football, in the 12-team playoff, making your conference championship or not making it, let me rephrase that, not making your college championship, your conference championship is not a bad thing. It really isn't. Teams like Ole Miss and Georgia, who are going to finish the season hopefully 11-1, not even playing their conference championship, like, what's the point? What's the point? The only thing that can happen in that conference championship, yes, you're playing for pride. I mean, Kirby wants to win the SEC championship game. If you're a diehard SEC fan, you want to win the SEC championship game. There's nothing wrong with that. But we saw what happened to Georgia last year in that SEC championship game. You lost your starting quarterback. Carson Beck got hurt at the end of the second quarter, right before the half, and you didn't have him for the rest of that game, and Gunnar Stockton was able to step in and beat a team like Texas, but you didn't have your number one quarterback in the next playoff game against Notre Dame, and it showed. It showed that you were not prepared. So not playing in your conference championship game, giving your team another chance to be healthy, that's not a bad thing. The only thing that could actually happen in that SEC championship game is probably something bad. Somebody gets hurt, you add another loss to it, you may not get that first round bye. Like Georgia, you're sitting in a good spot right now. If you beat Georgia Tech on Black Friday, you're probably sitting at a spot where you're not playing on championship Saturday, and you get a first round bye. Like, how much better does it get? So playing in your conference, this is what bothers me about college football today. There's no reason to play in that conference championship. There isn't. Teams like Notre Dame don't even have a conference championship. They're going to make the playoffs, right? Teams that in the past, you look at a couple of years ago, Alabama didn't make the conference championship game. They still beat us in the national championship game. There's no incentive in this world of college football and the college football playoff. There's no incentive to be in that conference championship game. There just isn't. And that's sad. It's a sad state that we live in, but it is what it is. And until they change it, which they're not going to, They want teams like Notre Dame in. Explain to me, and I know we can get down this rabbit hole, how Notre Dame is going to finish the season 10-2, and there's a really good chance that Miami is also going to finish the season 10-2, yet Miami beat them head-to-head, but apparently that doesn't matter anymore. Oh, that didn't matter. That was earlier on in the season. Doesn't matter. Their losses are worse than Notre Dame's loss. But shouldn't head-to-head matter? Shouldn't those head-to-head competitions, those matchups, shouldn't they matter? I thought they did. Maybe they don't. I mean, not in this day of college football. It's at the end of the day, and we've talked about this. They're the haves and the haves not. And the reason we had the college football playoff and expanded to the 12 was supposed to get those teams that are the have-nots, those at-large bids, those Arizona States, the Boise States, maybe even the SMUs, which are powerhouses. I mean, the SMU is pretty good anyway. But those other teams that are just on the bubble that normally wouldn't have a chance, maybe the BYUs, those teams, get them in. But for what? For what? What did it come down to last year? Notre Dame, Ohio State. Who's it come down to in the past? Even the year TCU made the national championship game, they got blown out 65-7. Don't feed me this line of, oh, we're trying to equal out college football. It's always the haves and the have not, and it will always be the haves and the haves not. The Notre Dames, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Ohio States, the Clemsons. I say Clemson, we'll see. Those are the teams. Those are the teams. And if you're the BYUs, if you're the who else is on the bubble this year? If you're the Arizona States, if you're the Boise States, if you're those teams, they're going to give you an opportunity. And anything can happen. They want it to be like March Madness, where you just get in, and a number 16 can knock out a number 1. But we haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if we're going to see it anytime soon. But it doesn't matter because I'm here to watch it. It's college football. It's much better if you're in my position as someone from the state of Georgia. I'd much rather watch Georgia on Saturdays than the Falcons on Sunday, and that's just a fact. So let's get to today's verse. So as we are getting close to Thanksgiving, it is that time of year that, we give thanks. And it's crazy that it's only near the holiday seasons that we decide to actually give thanks for the things that God gives us throughout the entire year. But we feel compelled during the season to do that, and I'm glad that we do, because it is great to live with a thankful heart. And so the verse that we're going to share today is a verse that you've heard, especially this time of year. It's from Thessalonians. Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. But I want to focus in on a word right here, a little word, 2 letters. Give thanks in all things, in all circumstances. Notice that it doesn't say give thanks for all circumstances. It says give thanks in all circumstances, because there are going to be some things in your life, maybe you're going through right now, but you're not feeling very thankful for the circumstance. I'm not thankful for the diagnosis. I'm not thankful for the separation. I'm not thankful for the divorce, whatever it is that's in your life right now, right? You're not thankful for it, but you can be thankful in the season that you're currently in. And you can be thankful in that season because you worship and you serve a God that is faithful, and he has been faithful since the beginning all the way until the end. That's why you can be thankful in the circumstance, not necessarily for the circumstance. You're not going to be. You're not going to be thankful for the circumstance, for the diagnosis, for the death, for whatever it is that came through. But in the circumstance, I could be thankful that I still worship a God who does love me. He showed me how much he loves me by giving his son, sacrificing his son on my behalf. So be thankful in all circumstances. God is faithful. He will always be faithful. And we can be thankful for that. Remember our 2 commands: love God and love one another. We'll see you next time.